Joining me now is Jasmine Jasudavicius, who takes on Natalia Silva at UFC Austin coming up here next Saturday. That's June 18th. Jasmine, how's it going? How's camp? And you excited? We're just a little more than a week away.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm at the gym right now, finished a morning session, and then got a nice massage after. And now just, I'm in the home stretch, chilling, and can't wait to get in there.
Yeah, and this is your second UFC fight camp. So, I mean, is it feeling a little bit more normal? I'm sure maybe the first time around it was, a unique experience. It was new, but does it kind of sink in at any point? Like, hey, I'm a UFC fighter. I'm actually doing this thing now that I set out to do a long time ago.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm just kind of manipulating. I'm in the change room right now. As you can see the shower in the back. I'm at the gym. But it's feeling really good. I've been through all like the jitters of having my debut, and now I'm really looking forward to like getting in there and just like displaying the skills that I have.
Yeah, have you ever been to Austin, Texas before? It's pretty popular here right now. It's like a city kind of on the come up,
No, I've never been to Texas. I'm super looking forward to it, and I feel like a Texas crowd is like my kind of crowd. I can't wait to enjoy some like barbecue after, get some nice like fat steaks, go to a steakhouse, and just see what Texas has to offer. It looks like a really cool place.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't been there, but I've heard great things about Austin. So I'm sure you'll get to enjoy your time, and it'll be even better if you go out there and get a win. So talk to me about, you just mentioned it though, fighting in front of the crowds. A lot of fighters right now, they don't get to do that, but you've done it. You're getting to do it twice now. So, I mean, having fought in the Apex, is there any debate in your mind that you like fighting in front of a crowd more than the Apex?
Yeah, I love a crowd. I much prefer to fight in front of a crowd. I think I show better. I think I perform well in front of a crowd, and I can't wait. Fighting is obviously the best thing in the world. It's so much fun, and such a great experience. But to be able to do it in front of people and like you feed off the crowd, you feed off the energy. It makes it just like that much more of a special experience.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. And I guess let's before we talk about your matchup and stuff that's upcoming, let's take you back to your last fight. Kay Hansen, you went in there, you put on a really good performance. It seemed like everybody was kind of buzzing about it afterwards. Were you happy about it? Did you share that same enthusiasm as everybody else about the way that you performed that night?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously happy with my performance. It was like pretty clean performance. That being said, I didn't get to like fucking bang, I didn't get to swing and bang. And so I was playing it very, very, very safe. I don't want to go in there for my UFC debut and, get a loss. And I believe that the only way that Kay was beating me is if I put myself out of position. I didn't, and she exploited that. So I was being like very calculated with what I was doing. And the game plan obviously worked for that particular fight. For this one, I feel like, I'm in the UFC, so I could get a little bit crazy. I'm still obviously going to be calculated. I'm not going to, try not to make any really detrimental mistakes. That being said, I want to open up more in this fight.
Yeah. Do you feel like your opponent, Natalia, will kind of open up like that? Or do you think that she's going to try to take you down? Kind of what are you expecting from her?
Honestly, I don't know. I know nothing about this girl. I feel like I'm back in my amateur days where you get matched up. It's like, you two look about the same size. You doing those like smoker shows. You two look about the same size. Yeah, you go fight. No one knows anything about anyone. No one knows the skill set or anything. And I feel like I'm kind of like back in that realm again, which I actually like. It's every fight poses its own opportunities and obstacles to overcome. And I feel like this is one of those things where it's gonna be a good experience.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. And, something else kind of coming out of that last fight, and I think it maybe even started when you were on Contender Series or even before that, is like the fact that you're from Canada. And I think a lot of people are like, she could be the next, women's star from Canada, and we haven't had a contender in a while, all this stuff. So do you feel that at all? Is that any extra added pressure? Is it pride? Is it something you think about often?
It's definitely pride, like I've been saying from the start, I want to be like known around Canada. Like GSP, he's known around Canada for MMA, and I want to be the female GSP. Like everyone, when they hear MMA, they think Jasmine Jasudavicius. Like that's obviously ideal. I'm very proud to represent my country, and I feel like Canadians they're always so supportive. Like I feel like I have a ton of support from everyone in Canada. Like I'm not getting any hate, I'm not getting any negativity. Everyone in Canada is like very, very, very supportive. After my fight, there was multiple people that messaged me like, hey, this is so and so from Moncton or wherever, so and so from blah blah blah. Just wanted to let you know, like, congratulations, and like keep representing. Like those kind of messages mean a lot to me, and it feels so good to be able to represent Canada and represent all the great people that we have here.
Yeah, that must feel pretty good. People that you've never even met and you're having an impact on their life. So that's great. Was it always the goal? Like you just said you kind of wanted to be the GSP, the female GSP of Canada. Was that always like your goal in life? Like when you were a kid and stuff, is this something you wanted to do, or did this just like find you, MMA?
Yeah, no, MMA found me. I didn't do it when I was younger. I mean, I was always active and always played sports and everything, but I was never into. I never knew anything about martial arts really. But yeah, once I found martial arts, then I dove in head first and never looked back.
Yeah, and how did you find it? Was Jason Sago? You had like a mutual friend or something, right?
Yeah, so initially it was just like this guy that I was hanging out with. Turns out now, fast forward, he's my coach and my boyfriend, and he's everything now. But initially he was going out to help Jason Sagro prepare for a UFC fight, and he just asked me to come, and so I had the opportunity to watch them train, and I think that's kind of where I developed my like discipline and my work ethic and all that, was watching him and Jason, because they were there up right away in the morning, in the gym for a couple hours, home, eat, rest, and then back in the gym for a couple, so it was like I saw that from the very beginning. So I'm like, well, that must be how this works. This is how you do MMA. And I fell in love with it, and so I'm so thankful for those two to kind of show me.
Yeah, and what were you like in your mid-20s when you probably first started?
Yeah, I was 26.
Yeah, so what were you doing at that point in your life? Were you working or going to school, or were you?
Yeah, I was working. I finished school at that point. I was working at a youth homeless shelter. I went to school for policing, and I was like gung ho about becoming a cop. And I was really enjoying. I worked at a youth homeless shelter. It was age 16 to 24, and I really enjoyed it. I like working in the social service industry. I look forward to in the future, when I'm done fighting, to kind of bring that back into my life again. I'm not entirely sure how, because I love MMA, but it's like my dream would be the finding a way to mix the two. I think that I definitely can find a way, but yeah, that means a lot to me.
Yeah, and so for you, when you're going down that path, you go to school, you're working, and then you pick up this hobby that's fighting, and all of a sudden you're pretty good at it. Was it tough to pull away from the other thing? Like, were there people in your life like that thought you were maybe a little crazy for trying to make money fist fighting instead?
Yeah, because there's not much money until you make it up a little bit. So of course, if my parents, they were, Jazz, are you sure you really want to do this? Like, what are you going to do for retirement? That kind of stuff. But but overall, like everyone was supportive. I think a lot of people were just like, oh, she'll stop doing it. They didn't think that I would continue doing it, especially starting when I was a little bit older. And then they just kind of saw me enjoying it and saw the growth. And I never had too much negativity, like, in regards to it. I was always fortunate to have like it's very supportive people surrounded me.
It's obviously great, and it turned out to be a phenomenal choice for you. So at 33 right now, you're kind of dubbed as one of the best prospects in MMA. And that's maybe a little bit older than when people start to say prospect, and I'm sure it's just obviously because you started late. But in terms of your improvement, I mean, do you feel like there's still a long ways that you can go to get better at this point in your career?
Yeah, I believe, I started later, so I don't have as much experience as some of these people that started when they were young kids. That being said, I feel like I developed life experience in other things, and I can bring that within the sport. But I feel like when I do learn something, it's like I went from zero to now knowing it. So I've grown exponentially, and I feel like after each one of my fights, you can see the growth in me, from the previous fight. And so I believe that I'm still on a pretty high trajectory, and I think I'm learning so much every day. I go into every practice like with a thirst for knowledge, and I feel like you can learn from anyone. I don't have any I haven't seen the defense or the offense or whatever. I haven't seen the technique, so it's like a new thing to me. I'm like, ooh, what's this new thing that I get to learn? And so I still have like that spark.
Yeah, for sure. And have you done this camp up in Canada, or were you getting some other looks around too?
I've been all over the place. So I was out in Vegas like right before the camp. I think I was there for like 10 days or something like that. And so it's always great to work with everyone at Syndicate. I have a great relationship with all the athletes and the coaches there. And so I was out there for a little bit, and then I came home for a couple weeks and was training here for a bit. And then I went out to ATT for the week, and obviously got great looks there. And then came back for a couple weeks, and now we're heading out to Texas. We're leaving on Saturday morning, so a little bit all over.
Yeah, the world tour. But it'll be nice to see all the little things you picked up from all over the world. And I guess, you're focused on this fight. You want to go out there. You said you want to put on more of a banger and be exciting, get another win. Are you setting any sort of like longer term goals for yourself? Like, is there some sort of like, I want to be a contender by the end of the year, or, something like that? Or do you not like to set those sort of arbitrary timelines on yourself?
So of course, the goal is to have that belt strapped around my stomach there. That's the main goal. However, I do obviously understand that there's steps on the way there. And I think, I've got this fight right now. This is the only thing. I'm tunnel vision focused on this fight. And then after this fight, then I'll reassess. Some doors will potentially be opened up after this fight that I don't even know exist. So I'm not thinking too far in advance, just because I don't know what's available.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, what is available is June 18th, UFC Austin. You said you're not really sure what your opponent's going to bring, but what should fans that are going to be there, going to watch on TV, just anybody in general, what should they expect to see out of you?
They should expect to see me going in there and looking for the finish, looking to be violent, and getting my hand raised.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on the final stop on your North American tour. But good luck with everything, Jasmine. I appreciate the time today.
No, thank you so much for having me.